What is up, guys? It's Verns, back here again for another Supercoach video. This time it is the AFL Round 3 review. Look, not a bad week in my opinion. I know what you're thinking, guys. You're like, Vern, you slid backwards in rank. You ranked 16,000. What do you mean not a bad week? Guys, we mentioned this at the start of the season. We picked a mid-pricer heavy team. I was always going to struggle in round 2, 3, 4, and 5 when they had all the buys. But my team's going to excel between like 6 to 11 sort of thing. So I think as long as we can keep our head above water, we will be fine moving forward. There was a lot of crazy scores, and we'll go through it in the video. But look, I'm sure you guys all saw the news that Supercoach Hub is merging with Supercoach Swordplay, which is awesome. Huge fan of DR and the boys, love Spills, Janeth, Ross, all of those guys. So really, really nice to be a part of all that. We'll figure out what sort of content we're doing with that going forward. But look, we've always got my channel. I'll always be doing my weekly reviews here. So hopefully I can do some really cool stuff with the Swordplay boys, and that'd be really cool. But you know, at minimum, I'll always be here. So I appreciate all those that have tuned in, liked, and subscribed for the consistent injection of Supercoach videos directly into the YouTube feed going forward. What that does mean is come join that Supercoach Hub Discord. I'm sure most of you are in it already. A lot of talk going on in there. But yeah, it's just where we like to socialize and whatnot. And look, I do talk my little bit here and there. I told people not to get on SDK. I mean, that didn't really work out for people, so yay. Told people to not risk the C on Cherry because of their McRae VC, and you know what? That worked out pretty okay too. So, yeah, come and join. Maybe I'll give you some good advice. Maybe I'll tell you the absolute wrong thing. So, we'll figure it out. I mean, you're already here, so. But in 1906, honestly, I really didn't think this was that bad of a score. I thought it was going to be better overall, and I was a bit surprised that I did end up sliding a bit in ranks. But look, we've made a bit of money already, and we've got some crazy plays in mind, which will more or less help us even more over that sort of 6 to 11 stretch when we come on back hot. Huge shout out to Rob though. So Rob's plays with me in sort of my friends league that I have, friends and family league. He's a good mate of my mate Amir, and he's currently ranked 10. He went bananas. I mean, that's what happens when you have Sinclair and Libba and Luke Jackson as well. They all went bananas. They're all pod picks, and when your pods fire, it's huge. So yeah, really, really great work from him. So we'll jump into the team here. This is how it's sized up. I thought it wasn't that bad of a team overall. Let's just jump in a bit. Yeah, make it a bit bigger. Honestly, with this, I know you guys are thinking, like, I've got stuff like Luke Parker and whatnot in my team, and you're like, Vern, that's where you made mistakes. If, like, Luke Parker went down to a rookie, you could have put 200k on top of, like, a day, or on top of even a Perryman to start the season. But you could have put more money on top of these mid-prices and got more high-tier premiums. You're definitely right there. I definitely could have done that. And Luke Parker isn't really showing too much dividends right now, but he's been pretty average. But I think the other thing you got to take into account is, like, let's say hypothetically Luke Parker went down and I put 200k somewhere. Let's say I went up from day. Now, that's assuming I went to, like, a Dunkley, who I did like. Maybe I went to a Libba, who I wasn't even considering, so I wasn't going to do that. But more likely I probably end up on a Sarong, who's been okay. But there's always a chance that maybe I got baited into a Neil, which has been really, really bad for people. Same in the backline, like, we're assuming that I hypothetically make the right pick here. Maybe I went to a Jordan Clark or something like that. What happens if I ended up on, like, a Tom Stewart? Like, the outcome's worse. So as much as it's like, Vern, you could have made that play and, you could have started your team in that way and it would have been better. But it's only better if you chose the right premiums. If you got the wrong premiums, the team's worse. So, yeah, I think the team, as we know, these were going to be the hard rounds. Our mid-prices really failed. I mean, Rosie's score didn't even count for me this week. Callahan's score didn't even count for me this week. So that's basically $1 million of our price cap that didn't even count towards our score this week. Let alone Roberts, who was obviously on the buys. There's $1.5 million. There was a lot of money that just didn't do much for us this week, which really, really hurt. But I mean, that's fine. Like, when we hit these when we hit the games later in the season, when we're not on buy rounds, what will happen is people, like, yes, rookies went amazing this week. If you had Pryor, Trainer, Reed, I had all of them on field, and it was great, and that's why I thought I was going to have an amazing week with those three, plus Sam Davison, plus O'Driscoll. I think the only one I'm really missing is Murphy Reed here. I also realize I haven't actually reversed my trade, so I'm going to reverse that just so everyone, you can already see what I'm planning on doing. So there it is, guys. I could edit it, but I'm not going to. But you know what? It's one take. It's what we do. So this is how the team was in reality. We got the 3 good rookies in the back line. We got Davidson in the forward line. Yeah, we missed Murphy Reed, but yeah, let's just say hypothetically later in the season when all your scores on field count, this Ashcroft is going to hurt a lot. If you had a Nevitt on field, it's going to hurt a lot. Obviously, Lindsay you don't really count because unlucky. O'Sullivan's going to hurt a lot. Where if I'm running more mid-price heavy, like Luke Parker, get an 80 out of him, we get an 80 out of Oliver, we get 100 out of Will Day. These mid-prices doing better than what the extra rookies would on field. That's where we'll make up the gap. So that's why I'm waiting for really around 6 to 11 to explode with this team and really just trying to stay relevant for now. About 500 points behind the leader, which is quite a significant margin. But I know what this team's strength is, and there's been a lot of things there, like people that didn't start Gorn, people that even didn't start Sherry. I've seen people that just like had Luke Jackson and Tom DeConning as their rucks, and like look at them go. So yeah, I think Gorn's going to have a good week this week, though. We're going into Geelong, so I'm really hoping for that bounce back into SDK, assuming SDK is playing. And then the other obvious one is Zorko into Richmond. So they're really obvious picks, and that's going to be my simple VCC loop, just going into Zorko. We're just going to skip it and just basically say that's what it is, because it's what I'm going to do. The other one people are probably considering is DeConning, which is fair enough, but I don't know. I like doing this whole Gorn into Zorko thing. I think that's... Oh my gosh, what happened here? Gorn to Zorko. I think that's what I like a lot. But we will go through the team. Like Zorko, yes, super sustainable. If you didn't start him, you're absolutely so sad now because you want to trade him in, but you're so scared of that injury risk, and that's the reason you didn't start him. It wasn't because he was a good pick. It's because of the injury risk. But now that you didn't start him, and this is the reason we did start him, because if we started him, he explodes. You don't want to trade into him. He gets injured a couple of weeks later, and you have to trade him back out. But if you start him and he's good for 7 weeks, and then he gets injured... First of all, you get the really good scores. If you get the 136 average over 7 weeks for him, that's going to make up for him getting injured on an 80 in one game or getting injured on a 60 and you have to trade him out the following week. But others are going to have to bring him, waste 2 trades, bring him in and then move him out if that happens. So having him, amazing right now. Sheasel, bit disappointing, honestly. He's already lost 50k, big bank lost on him. And just wasn't really... He's just not really doing the thing, and I guess this is why you never start the top liners in your line, and I did. I started Sheasel and Horn Francis, and that's the big difference between me and the top of the table guys. If you skipped on Sheasel and Horn Francis and went for more value guys, and I'm not talking like mid-prices, I'm talking value primos, like Jordan Clark, who we think have upside, Bailey Dale, who is upside, Max Holmes, who is upside, even you could say Sinclair and Whitfield have upside, where Sheasel at his price didn't have any upside, but we felt pretty guaranteed he's going to be top 6. I still feel like he'll get to top 6, but people will now pick him up for 550, 500k, and I'm going to have to pay 50k more for Sinclair and Whitfield, where they're going to have to pay 150k less for Sheasel. So it's why you don't do it, and it's been a strong thing I've always thought for a long time, and I always dodge the big priced midfielders, but I didn't dodge the big priced defenders, and I mean, Horn Francis wasn't even big priced, but still... I think Horn Francis was inevitable because he just made so much sense to pick. He just hasn't worked out. But he might explode over hopefully the next few games, and that would... I mean, he might. I mean, who knows? I feel like his mental is just all over the shop. But if he gets it together, he'll be good. But we really wanted him to be good when Butters was out of the team. We're going to get some DPPs coming in as well, and it really does beg the question that if his mental isn't there, is he going to actually be top 6? Because right now he's not looking it. So yeah, for those that really dodge those guys, massive. Dale, of course we bring him in and he gets an 81. Positive here, he got tagged really hard and he got an 81. It's something I want to show you from last year with Dale. We talked about it in the preseason, and you guys would remember this if you were watching my preseason video, but it was last year's stats. He had really good last year's stats, but he had flaws of 47. He had this 12 he got subbed out on, and then another 45. And those were the floor games that really kept him down. You took out the 47s and 45s and the 12s. He actually averaged 107 over the rest of his games, but he was only priced at 98. So if his floor is now 80 while getting tagged instead of 40, the 40-point buffer on the couple of games that happens, plus it feels like he's playing at a higher level, you're going to get a better average from him. So, and we always expected, yes, he's not going to average the 130 that he's on currently. He's going to average closer to 110, which technically might show a 113 by the end of the season. But if he gets, he's priced to 98. If he can get 105, it's still value for the pick. If he can get 110, if he can get 110, it's great value for the pick. The 81, I don't mind it. It is fine. And coming into a really good run too. Freo is a team that notoriously gives up massive points to defenders. So I think Dale could have a really, really big week this week. So really, really keen for that. And then he has St. Kilda in 2 weeks as well, so he's going to be going bananas real quickly. So Brisbane, a little bit of a harder one, but yeah, Freo and Saints, we talked about it in the preseason. Collingwood, Freo, Saints, in crazy easy opponents. And he gets Saints really quick back-to-back, and then into Richmond straight after that. Like the run, Freo he ends on as well as West Coast. Yeah, it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. So I believe in this pick. He'll come back. I'm probably talking too much, but yeah, he got clamped. He didn't get all the kick-ins, and you would have thought when he's getting clamped, he would have got more kick-ins, but there's actually time on the bench where they kick like 3 behinds, and Dale's just on the bench, and it's like, God damn it, Dale, why are you on the bench right now? Like, obviously, that's just unavoidable, but it's unlucky. Keen for Roberts to be back. Yeah, Pryor amazing, Trainer amazing, Reed amazing. I think the thing that's amazing about these guys, so we're going to get a premium here, is that they all sort of reset their break-evens now, because their break-evens got put pretty low from, well, in Pryor's case, he was actually pretty average so far, and he's been pretty, yeah, he's been fine. But even if he comes out, let's see what it's projected there. He gets 250s back-to-back. Fortunately, he won't make crazy money, only like 100k on his price if he keeps going at 50s, but if he can get, 250s, it's fine. He's making money. This was a good chunk for him. Same with Trainer and Reed. We're going to see a similar thing where it's like, unfortunately, they have this 24 in their cycle, so you're going to see, an explode after Game 5, because right now it's a 24 and 90, meaning that, if he gets a 44, he only gets 28k, and even though he's now 30k more expensive, it's going to be like his 90 and his 44, so he's naturally got a better rolling break-even, and then he'll actually get more money the following week. So if he can hold together even a decent couple of weeks, let's just say he's lucky enough to go 60 back-to-back weeks, he could easily push another 80k real quickly, which would be very nice. Now, if he's playing at a 44 average, he's only going to get to this like 220 mark. Hopefully he can do more than that. Just need another spike game like this 90, and hopefully we can go off once again. He's got Freo soon, who give up points. And Reed falls into the exact same boat. This 36, it's going to roll out really quickly. So once it rolls out, then he'll make good money after that. So, that'll be good for those rookies. Rosie, unfortunate. He got clamped. Day also actually had attention, and this is the really disappointing thing about Day. He was 78, I think, at halftime or the end of the third. He got to 78, and what happened is he did kick a goal. I think it was the end of the third. Kicked a goal, and they reviewed it, and it became a behind. And he basically went from 92 down to 78 once that was reversed. He lost 14 points off the goal. That is bananas, which sucks, because obviously that pushes him towards this 120. Amazing, but he's also super slow in that fourth quarter. He just didn't get many points. I think it was 78 at half, and then he was 90 something by the start of the third, and he just did nothing in that final term. Butchered the ball a lot, and which hurts as well. Cherry, just solid. Oliver, it's fine. And Callahan, he actually got clamped this game as well, got tagged by Finn McGuinness. So, just unfortunate. All our boys got warned this week. But at least we don't have to worry about that. I mean, Callahan's coming in the West Coast this week. There's a chance he could go 155. And once he does that, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be bloody worth this guy. Rosie into Saints, I think, could do some serious damage there. Obviously, in the practice game, dropped a 155 on them. Does he get win-hanged? Potentially. It's actually really annoying that he's getting all this attention. Obviously, if Butters was there, he would be getting the attention, but then we wouldn't expect Rose to be scoring as well when Butters doesn't get it. So it's a hard payoff. O'Driscoll, best rookie by far. Ashcroft is a little disappointing, just didn't get involved, and Lindsay, that's just unlucky. Nevick was a sub. I'm sure you've heard everyone rant about it. Absolutely stupid. Henderson, 43. Now, the unfortunate thing with Nevitt and Lindsay here is they now have this 9 in their cycle. So let's just say Lindsay's out for 2 to 3 weeks. First of all, if he's out for 2 to 3 weeks, even if he comes back, because he has this 9 in his cycle, even if he's getting 50 points a game, he's not going to move in price. Like, this 9 ruins him, meaning if he's out for 2 to 3, then you need to wait 2 more weeks before the 9's out of his cycle and he starts making money again. So Lindsay's kind of a dead rook now. You need to move him on because he's just going to stall too long in the cash gen, which sucks because he has Freo, Richmond, West Coast all coming up. But it is what it is. Nevitt, kind of a similar park. Getting this 20 sucks. This 80 falls out of his system now, so now he's got the 58 and 20. So yeah, if he gets a 40, he's already stagnant on his price. So, I mean, hopefully he can do more than that, and I think he definitely should do more than the 40. I feel like he's a more reliable scorer than what we saw there, but now that he's a sub-risk as well, that's really annoying. And his cash gen's also been stalled for 2 rounds. He's going to get 2 rounds of stalled cash gen, which just sucks. Really, really sucks. I mean, Ashcross, it's dealable, the 36. It's livable. It's not great, but it's livable. I mean, technically, yeah, even with the 255s, he's kind of stalled, but it's fine. He's going into Richmond. Hopefully he can balloon it there, and that can counteract the 36 he's got. Yeah, Gorn doesn't look good. Hopefully he can do something against the Cats this week. Saying that, he did technically play into a hard matchup. Who did they play? No, not Wits this weekend. Who did he play against? He did play against Wits, didn't he? Yeah, he did play against Wits, who is actually a hard matchup, so it is what it is. Hopefully he can bounce back into an easy one this week. DeConning, just a superstar, actually got scaled back a ton. He got a great contested intercept mark, and he lost it because someone pushed someone else in the back, and he just lost all those points, and it sucked. Then we have Horn Franz, we already talked about. McRae, he's incredible. He got tagged, and he still dropped to 120. Smith, 81. It's perfectly fine. This guy had a 28% disposal efficiency. The point he got to 80 with 28% disposal efficiency is insane in itself. Jeez, like, I couldn't imagine that. Like, there's that kind of game where if it's like going at like even 60%, he's going 130 plus. Like, that's just nuts. And it's a wet, mucky game. We know his disposals aren't the cleanest, but yeah, what a superstar he's going to be. And then Parker, look, the 78. It's unfortunate. I feel like Parker is actually in a similar bag to Will Day here, where he goes in like the bull, he gets the ball, but unlike some other bulls that just break the pack and make the hand pass or the kick, they sort of just end up being tackle bags, where they grab the ball. To be fair, I feel like Parker literally was getting tackled before he even grabbed the ball multiple times. Like, they were literally holding him so tight before he even got possession, and he just didn't get any holding the man freeze. And because of that, all it meant was the second he grabbed it, he was instantly tackled, and he doesn't get a disposal, he doesn't get a possession, he gets nothing for it. The tackler just gets points for tackling him. And it happened, I swear to God, like 7 or 8 times to Parker. And it's just one of those things where it's so frustrating in the sense that if he can get this contested ball, and even if it's a hand pass to a teammate next to him who also then gets tackled, and it technically is a net neutral, it doesn't do anything, it's the same outcome if he got tackled. Obviously, if you do that, it leaves room for the ball to be fumbled, for it to be turnovers, for things like that, where if you just, you take the tackle, you get swallowed by it, you end up in the ball up situation, which they're probably happy to have considering how good Cherry is. But Cherry was struggling, so. But yeah, if he can just get a couple of those hand passes out, let's just say hypothetically 3 of them, they're contested hand passes, they're probably worth 4 points. At least, and that's an extra 12 points. He goes to 90, and all of a sudden, if he's scoring 90 every game, this is an ingenious pick. Ingenious. But right now, it's fine. It's actually perfectly fine. Once again, don't forget, he's priced at 63. Him going at 75 is bang for buck. It's still points over what we paid for. And he's at a new club. He's still warming up. And as I said, if you can just have one of these games where he gets those hand passes out, he gets those extra contested possessions, and we know how good he is. He can drop a 140 plus. So let's just say hypothetically the right game comes out. He gets the contested balls. He actually gets the hand passes out. He gets the ball in the boot. And all of a sudden he pushes even a 120. It's like, then we're laughing. Then we're laughing. So, and once again, this is the 78 that we're fielding is better than getting like a stone 46 in a week where potentially we would have to field, not best 18 weeks and not bye weeks. Caleb Daniel, he's great. Davidson, he's a superstar. And Sullivan, obviously you guys can see him there and you're thinking, Vern, I thought you were trading Flynn. Yes, but we talked about in the video, if Flynn didn't get named, I was trading Flynn instead. It meant we got 166k in the bank, and I would love to do an early season upgrade. I know we've only had one price rise, but I would love to force an upgrade. Now, this might seem wild, and you're like, Vern, what are you talking about, force an upgrade? Well, look at this. Let's just go these two down. Two 200k rookies. There's some very, very obvious rookies on the break-evens. If we just go to it, let's get rid of this filter. Why is it there? Moraes, yep, obvious. Bice, yep, obvious. So obvious we get those two, and boom, they come in. All of a sudden, we're balling out with 340k in our back pocket. We can now get Pryor up to like a 550k, well, 540k defender. We can get Holmes in for Pryor. We could do an early upgrade. That's actually incredible. So, yeah, we could force an early upgrade here, but the thing is I want a Whitfield. I wanted Whitfield. Holmes isn't my target. I've got to take into account that I've already got 4 keeper defenders. I want Whitfield. I potentially want Sinclair. Sinclair's role seems pretty disgusting, but he's too expensive now. 620k or some shit. He's really expensive, so I can't get to that. So if I'm getting in a Holmes, I've got to cut one of those guys. So it's like, okay, if I get Holmes, I'm not going to get Sinclair. And then there's still Flanders to consider. And if Flanders has a few bad games, we get Flanders in for 500k. Oh my gosh, sign me up for that. Does Flanders get affected by this Bailey Humphrey? That's the other thing you got to take into account. Bailey Humphrey, round 1, didn't have Flanders. Round 2, he did have Flanders, but Flanders, I think, is easing into it. So, yeah, there's 3 guys that I really want there. I don't even mind if one of them ends up the flex position, because defenders are that good this year. They're playing to such an elite level that, I mean, you could probably get away with 7 defenders. But yeah, and then you got Jordan Clark as well. I didn't even count Jordan Clark. We talked about Whitfield. I want Jordan Clark. I think I want Jordan Clark over Sinclair. I don't know. Sinclair's role is disgusting. Then you got to take Flanders into account. There's just too many good defenders. So many good defenders that, yeah, if I could grab a Holmes, but then putting myself in a, situation. But it would be an upgrade this round, and it would really start steamrolling us. Saying that, it'd be basically all my money. So then when I want future upgrades, they can't happen. And the other thing I really want is I want Whitfield for St. Kilda next week. I wanted him for West Coast this week, but we can't get him. We can't make that sort of jump. The only way I could do it is giving up something like an O'Driscoll, but I'm just not obviously going to do that. O'Driscoll's making way too much money, basically playing to a mid-pricer level at his price. There's no way I'm doing that. That would actually be insane. So, I've got to wait an extra week to get Whitfield. If I wait an extra week, it's fine. He's performing perfectly fine. If we just check out Whitfield's price real quick. 595. He's playing around his price tag, so he's not going to really go up or down. Having Saints sounds amazing. I hope he doesn't get clamped. West Coast, he's probably going to drop a 120 plus, gain a bit of cash, but yeah, pretty consistent. He's getting all the kick-ins as well. He looks so good. Saints obviously a target you want them against. Yeah, West Coast. He might get James Jordan in round 8, which sucks, but then he does have Freo, he has Richmond, he has West Coast again, he has Saints to finish off. He does have James Jordan a second time, but yeah, I want Whitfield, so that's what I'm kind of saving for. The other guy that obviously I mentioned before that's very obvious for everyone is Bailey Humphrey. He's looked incredible. He's got a crazy low break even. So if I just type Humph in here, yes, 270 minus 55k. He dropped a 104 and a 111, so he has the 111 in his next 2 price rises. He's coming into Adelaide, which is they've been pretty good, so I'm going to say they're meh. But then a North and a Richmond after that. There's a chance he could put down another double ton. So over the next 3 games, gets 2 more tons. Incredible in price, earns a lot of money. And then he's a very easy upgrade because at his price he can end up, I think 450k, a very easy sideways, or you just hold him to, use him as an on-field option in the meantime, and someone that will benefit the team over the best 22 weeks instead of the best 18, because we have Humphrey instead of fielding one of these rookies, which is just overall better. So what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm just going to show the break-even game. We already sort of grabbed the two boys that were very obvious. So yeah, we can see Davidson up there, Bice, Moraes. Yep, and that's who we're on. We're jumping on those guys. For those that got on Murphy Reed, great work. Gets a 106. That's a perfect time to get the 106 as well. For all those players that went bananas this week, it's the perfect week to do it. It's the first price rise week, so anyone that's not on them, it's too late to jump on because they just got a massive score and jumped up massive amount of money. But now they have a massive score for their next two price rises. So you get the absolute most ideal outcome. So really, really good for some of those. Reed is one of those ones that, yeah, I just missed, unfortunately. Curtin also had a really good game. But I'm pretty happy with a lot of the rookies we got. Erasmus actually came out with an 80 here, I'm pretty sure, yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Ooh, -5 historically against the Dogs. But yeah, I think Moraes and Bice are the ones I want. They got some really good scores. 94 from Moraes, 96 from Bice. They're going to be in the next two rolling price increases. Just, yeah, perfect to get on. And they're at this really nice price too. A little bit cheaper than Erasmus. But yeah, the other one that's obviously up there is Bailey Humphrey. Even at 270k, he's up here with all these rookies. Merrick is the other one who has a killer roll. It's technically still cheaper than Bailey Humphrey, and he has a 123 in his next price increases, where Humphrey only has the 111. Yeah, Merrick obviously someone that was in my preseason team for all of preseason, but then was named a sub round 1, and we ditched him. Which is unfortunate. If he wasn't a sub round 1, there's a chance that we start Merrick and we're just ahead of the comp. But yeah, until this 123, he was looking pretty average as a pick. So this worked out really well for people. I think he got like 9 kick-ins, but yeah, incredible. So yeah, I think Humphreys is one of those ones that everyone wants. Once again, we're going to jump to the break-even game. And when we look at my team, yeah, Ashcroft 24 is pretty high. 30 is pretty high on Nevitt. I think that's it. I think all the other rookies are on like the minus break-even. So they're the ones that we want. Kikau's technically 11. If I check out prices, who's actually most expensive? So it is Ashcroft, but I think Ashcroft offers better on-field scoring, so I don't want to move him on. I mean, technically I could go Kikau. That's not a bad move there, but I think I will go Nevitt. He's kind of gotten stalled on his cash gen for the next couple of rounds, which really sucks what Scott did to him. But what it also does is it means I can flip Kikau into like the midfield, and what that allows me to do is just like mad flexibility, like really, really good flexibility. And I'll just show you what I mean in a second. So let's grab Humphrey. Let's just quickly undo that. Look at that, 521k. I could basically be making an upgrade at this point before I even grab Humphreys. Like, if we go back here. Oh, yeah, I need to move Kikau up. Kikau, go back up. Yeah, just out of price range for Rankin. Rankin would have been just in it if he didn't have that 15k increase, so that's really funny. Simpkin's someone that's been nuts as well. I mean, who the hell would have started Simpkin? Who expected this? He would have been a keeper too. There's no one that would have done it. I say no one, but obviously there's 7.5% of the comp. That's bananas. But yeah, let's jump back to where we're at. Let's just jump back to break-evens, grab Humphreys, and that's how the team is going to look. I think this is, yes, the first boost we've used, but I think it is improving the team significantly. I think we're getting better cash gen from... I think Moraes and Bice, a good cash gen, and it's good money in the bank, as we saw up there, 250k, means we can actually start upgrades next week, a week earlier than most people, and if we can get that one premium ahead with all these mid prices, we're going to, as I said, we're going to make some serious damage between round 6 to 11 sort of thing. Actually, I think it's next round. I think it's round 5. Yeah, no, it's round 2, 3, 4 that were subs, that were buy rounds. So yeah, next round we're going to really take off, I think, and really take off over that period of time. And remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint, so for those that started out of the gates early, I think people are getting a little bit overzealous. I know with Rob, he's just looking super hype at trying to make pod moves. Should I move on Francis? Should I move on Sheasel? Should I go for some crazy moves? Like, I'm 10th overall, I've got to do something crazy, and it's like, but you don't. You actually just don't. You can just take a chill pill. You're 10th overall. Your team's clearly in a good position. Hold those trades. Make good upgrades. And don't panic. And you'll be ahead. Now, I do think sidewidsing is perfectly fine if your team's set up elsewise. But I think, yeah, personally, you have Bice. You have Moraes. We already talked about Erasmus as well. There's some really, really good rookies that if you can get right now, they're going to make some serious bank. And we have some rookies that really just stalled in their cash gen. Now, technically that could happen to any of these guys. You know, you made sub for a week and you could drop a 20, your cash gen's cooked, but they do have the 90, so that will at least hold them up for 2 weeks. Also, Moraes going into Saints looks amazing. Bison to Sydney. Yeah, really happy with that. Now, what this Cacao thing does in the middle for me, which is really nice. So we can always move Bice with Patton, which is what I want to be doing. And obviously adding the emergency device, keep Pryor on field, so I always have this captain loophole no matter what. For if Gorn works out. Because remember, you want to use these players to loophole your best scores, but sometimes you do it where you put yourself out, and it can actually mess you up. So what this does allow is it does mean that Cacao can actually... Bias can actually move with like a Daniels, we say, and then Daniels can technically move with a Cacao, and then Cacao can go anywhere as sort of a loophole in that way. So let's just throw Daniel on field, because we're obviously going to have him on field. We're obviously going to have Humphrey on field. What games have we got first? We've technically got Patton before Stone. I don't actually think I care about risking any of these guys. Like, this just seems like the better forward line, so I don't know how I'd ever do that. But the first game we have Camporelli and Henderson. I think we'll go Campo, because I think he'll probably get named. I'm hoping he will. And into the Pies, I think you could score pretty decently. Now, obviously, he will cover for Day. But we do technically have Moraes and Stone. Like, I can move them whenever sort of thing. Or, actually... No, I'll get locked out because of Daniel's positioning. Daniel has to move with someone like Horn Francis. That works. There we go. So what happens here? Let's just say, hypothetically, obviously I don't want Cacao in my flex position, so let's just do it like this. That works. That's best. So let's just say, hypothetically, Camporelli gets a really bad score. I just move Moraes on field for Day. Awesome. And then I can move Cacao either forward or backwards to take either Stone score or to take Camporelli score, whoever sort of gets better. Stone isn't a West Coast at the end of the day. As long as I can move him with a Port player, I think this is why I had this set up like this. Yeah, I can move him with a Port player because I should be able to see most of Stone's score before that time. So Campo comes out with a 60. His score isn't going to count on my best 18. Then, technically I might as well take the punt with Stone. Actually, we should put this on Patton just in case. So, we'll be able to see Campo score. We'll be able to see Stone score. We'll be able to see Patton score if, Camporelli gets a score that doesn't count on my best 18. Patton gets a score that doesn't count, that does count on my best 18. Then obviously I can move sort of Cacao up and down. Maybe Patton gets a score that doesn't count either. I can move him with Horn Francis. I can move Stone on field, and I can roll the dice with Stone as well. And I can always move move Moraes on as well. So I think this allows most flexibility to be able to cover in as many lines as I can, to be able to sort of look at as many rookies as I can, to try and maximize my points as best I can. So, that's the team, guys. I've been rambling for way too long, talking a bit too in depth about my thoughts and my plans with moving everyone around. But once again, I think this team's in a good stead. I like how the team looks, honestly. I am a little bit surprised at how far back I am in the ranks. I feel like the team's better than what we've seen, but we expected the struggle over these weeks. And look, Gorn hasn't been great. If Gorn brings it back this week, then incredible. Let's just say he goes 140 against SDK. Amazing. We get a good VC. We get a good Gorn score, which is pretty good against the rest of the competition. And then hopefully... the rest of it can just work itself out and we can be good to go. Best 22s hit after that, and then I think we really take advantage of the less rookies we have. I mean, even if you look at it right now, the rookies, we have 2 in the back line, 2 in the midfield, and 1 in the forward line. I mean, O'Driscoll's almost good enough to not call a rookie at this stage. We got 3 there. We got 6. Next week we'll be able to make an upgrade to Whitfield as well, so we'll get one of these defenders off, which they're all not good. And it'll be an even better structure. Then we'll only have the 1 in defense, we'll have the 3 in the midfield, and Davidson, which once again, these guys I actually feel pretty confident about those rookies specifically. So till next time, guys. I appreciate all of you, especially those that stayed on till the very end. Peace, later.